All right, if I could have your attention, please stand. Join us in prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you would, pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the little bit of relief from the heat today. God, I pray that you just watch over those that are dealing with tough situations, dealing with this heat. Keep them safe, Lord. Protect them. I pray, God, that you would give us wisdom tonight as we do our city's business. Watch over and protect all of those who place themselves in harm's way for our benefit. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call a roll, please.
Paul Kaiser.
Here.
David Hunt.
Here.
Jim Lamb.
Here.
Jack Young.
Here.
Josh McNeil.
Here.
Curtis Sigler.
Here.
John Conroy.
Here.
Ken Demetrio.
Here.
Greg Easton.
Here. All right. Did anyone get a chance to look at the minutes and see if there need any corrections?
If there are no corrections, I move we approve.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Seconded. Call a roll, please.
Greg Easton.
Yes.
Paul Kaiser.
Yes.
David Hunt.
Yes.
Jim Lamb.
Yes.
Ken Demetrio.
Yes.
Jack Young.
Yes.
Josh McNeil.
Yes.
Curtis Sigler.
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes. Minutes are approved. All right, our first item tonight is a site plan application for a flex space at the northwest corner of Summer Avenue at Altruria Road. Director Taylor.
A representative with V. Ballard Consulting is here tonight and is requesting Planning Commission approval for a site plan for the site development of 2 commercial flex space buildings. The property is a 2.75 acre vacant lot at the northeast corner of Altruria Road and Summer Avenue within the CH Highway Business Zoning District. This application came before this commission in March of this year. However, the site plan at that time was overbuilt with 5 flex space buildings, and some of the proposed uses did not comply with the zoning ordinance. Since then, the applicant has reduced the number of buildings from 5 to 2, and the uses have been modified, removing the warehouse and distribution use in order for the plan to comply with our ordinance. The number of parking spaces have increased from 87 to 113, and the applicant has also increased the green open space areas from 33% to 35.2%. The applicant will still need to move or relocate the dumpster out of the 5-foot utility easement and also add an additional handicap accessible space. Therefore, we recommend approval with the conditions listed in this report, including those modifications. Thank you.
Questions for Director Taylor?
Yeah, Director Taylor, just a question. As far as the dumpster is concerned, so will all of these uses only have that one dumpster for use?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. I'm assuming there's no code or anything that says each use needs a dumpster or a corral for
No, they need
such
an enclosed dumpster area. That's the requirement.
Will they be, does the city of Bartlett pick up this trash, or will they have to
They have to hire someone. Yes.
So the city of Bartlett would not provide them one of the roll-arounds like every resident?
No, but they could add that if they make their dumpster area large enough to include that. They could do that.
Okay, all right. Another question I have, is there anything in the ordinance that would require or suggest that the 2 driveways that are running parallel to Highway 70 connect to the adjacent property to minimize traffic on Highway 70 coming from, one lot over to the other?
Right, that's a
Like a
great idea,
cross-access.
cross-access, that's a great idea, but no, we do not have anything in our ordinance to require that.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions for Director Taylor? All right, seeing none. Will the applicant come forward, please?
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Oksana Peven. I am one of the partners and also a local real estate agent. Our engineer, Vanessa Ballard, was working very closely with the staff members of the city of Bartlett, with Leslie and Kim, in order to comply and really hear all the comments from the board and suggestions. We've made necessary alterations. We've made necessary alteration in order to decrease the building footprint to 23,000 square feet, and that is very similar, almost the same to the floor area ratio to the neighbor property, which is located at 6498 Summer Avenue. So now it's only 19% buildable space. As it was already mentioned, we did increase the parking spaces. And our purpose is really to have this commercial development to tailor to small businesses and to be a part of economic growth of City of Bartlett too.
So you're in agreement with the conditions and comments from the staff?
Yes.
All right. Questions for the applicant?
We had one question. Will the construction of the two new buildings be the same style as the other five?
Yes. But we decreased it to two buildings right now only. It's only two buildings.
What path?
Well, I thought we had 5 buildings before and they've reduced it to 2.
I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm comparing this concept from when you folks were here before.
Yes.
So the design of these 2 buildings are essentially the same as the other ones.
Correct.
Does that include the drop-down doors?
None of them are in front. They do not face summer. They do not. So we redesigned it a few times. Engineer redesigned it a few times, listening to all the feedback and comments from the staff members.
So the roll-down doors would not face customers coming into the building?
Correct. Yes.
Who's your customer now? Now that you've changed the whole design, who's your customer now?
So it's Office General. Of course, we don't have tenants just yet because we haven't started developing.
Right.
But the customers we would like to attract, it's Office General, shopping centers, maybe small medical office. That would be the target.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Commissioners have any discussion? If not, I'll look for a motion.
There's no other discussion. I will make a motion for approval.
Second.
Call a roll, please.
Greg Easton,
Yes.
Paul Kaiser,
Yes.
David Hunt,
Yes.
Jim Lamb,
Yes.
Ken Demetrio,
Yes.
Jack Young,
Yes.
Josh McNeil,
Yes.
Curtis Sigler,
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes, that item carries. Next item we have is a master plan application for the same location. Oh, I'm sorry, no it isn't. Let me back up here. We have a master plan application for the JTB subdivision at 8223 Highway 70.
I believe Russ Brassfield with Barge Design Solutions is here tonight, and he's requesting approval of a master plan for a 3-lot commercial subdivision on 5.089 acres of land located at 8223 Highway 70 in the CL Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District. Lot 1 will be 2.12 acres and houses the existing Birch's Automotive. Lot 2 will be 0.591 acres and will be an office for Birches, and Lot 3 will be 2.374 acres, and at this time it will remain vacant. Access will be from an existing curb cut on Highway 70. However, a 20-foot wide cross-access easement drive will be installed along the frontage of the 3 lots. Staff has reviewed this application and recommend approval with conditions.
Questions for Director Taylor?
Is that property behind the plot that we see in front of us, is that their property also? Or is
The person owns it, but it's zoned differently.
Okay. So we don't have to be concerned about access to that back property then?
No, there's access from the road that runs parallel backside of it.
Thank you.
Other questions? All right. Thank you, Kim. The applicant come forward, please. Give us your name and address for the record.
Russ Brassfield, 5859 Briar Glen, Memphis, Tennessee, with Barge Design Solutions.
Are you in agreement with the comments and conditions of the staff?
Yes.
Questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless there's some discussion, could I get a motion, please?
I'd move we approve with recommendations from staff.
Second that.
Call the roll, please.
Greg Easton. Paul Kaiser.
Yes.
David Hunt.
Yes.
Jim Lamb.
Yes.
Ken Demetrio.
Yes.
Jack Young.
Yes.
Josh McNeil.
Yes.
Curtis Sigler.
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes. That item carries. Next item is a construction plan application for the same location, JTB subdivision at 8223 Highway 70.
Again, Russ Brassfield with Barge Design Solutions is requesting approval of a construction plan for a 3-lot commercial subdivision on 5.089 acres of land located at 8223 Highway 70 in the CL Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District. This is a conjunctive request with the application for the master plan approval for JTB subdivision. This construction plan includes a streetscape landscape buffer, a residential commercial landscape buffer, a stormwater detention basin, tree survey and protection plan, landscape plan, grading plan, utility plan, sewer plan and profiles, erosion control, and traffic control plans. Staff has reviewed these plans and recommend approval with conditions. And also I'd like to add that there's been some issues with the site that Trey would like to speak to you all about. Thank you.
Okay. Trey?
So the building on Lot 2 was a contractor's business for years. We just got some information that it might be used as a residence. Like to know that's in a commercial district and cannot have residential housing in a commercial district like that. So just want to make sure that it's used for commercial use only on that Lot 2, the building on Lot 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The applicant come forward. I'm sorry.
I would like to go back to Director Taylor real quick, and you may not know this. This may be for the applicant, but do we know what use is going to go in any of the, because you said just a moment ago they're vacant, correct?
Well, one of the lots is vacant. One of the lots is the automotive business. It's been going on.
Which is the one on the south,
one
okay.
with the building.
Or on the west?
The one with the building, that's going to be Birch's office.
Okay. Gotcha. The one on that's vacant now.
The vacant now, there's no plans for that one.
Okay. Okay. Lot 2, and that's the one you just talked about, Trey, correct? Okay. Okay.
So it now is an office for Burke.
Yes.
But they want to change it. They don't want to change it.
No, they want to use it for an office. It used to be, I believe, a plumbing contractor's a business at that location, and they're gone. Birch's Automotive has acquired that, and so he wants to use that as his office, separate from the automotive, where he's actually doing the automotive.
Where did the question of residents come from then?
We got a complaint from a citizen that said they think they're using it for residents.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry.
Has anybody?
History says that there was a basement in that. Traditional Plumbing owned that building at one time, and when they moved out, Mr. Birchers took it over, and I believe code enforcement was all there to do something about that, wasn't they?
Yeah, we went out originally on it, and it was explained to us that it was to be used for office and a break room. However, we got some phone calls complaining about it. We've never verified that, but I just thought that maybe it should go on the record as this commercial building only, not to be used as residential space.
Okay. The applicant come forward, please. Name and address for the record again.
Russ Brassfield, 5859 Briar Glen, Memphis, Tennessee.
Are you in agreement with conditions and comments?
Yes.
All right, can you address this question of residential?
I'm unaware of any plans to make it residential. Should be commercial only. That's the understanding that I have from the property owner.
Okay, thank you.
So again, this would be in the opposite building of what y'all plan on taking over, correct? That's on lot 2. Y'all are planning on moving into lot 3, correct? Your office space?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking to the applicant. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No.
There are no plans for the third lot yet.
Okay. All right, then I'm confused.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Let me sit here and think about
I'm pretty familiar with this specific location. I've actually had my truck work on here multiple times, unfortunately. So you're saying that at the automotive dealership, when you walk in, he's got a counter there, an office, back office to the left. He's wanting to basically take that and then move his office to the building that is to the left of the automotive shop.
That is my understanding.
I move we approve with conditions.
Well, before we second, is everybody satisfied with what we've heard here? All right, then we need a second.
I second with the recommendation to code enforcement that you occasionally drop by there and make sure nobody's living there.
Call the roll, please.
Greg Easton.
No.
Paul Kaiser.
Yes.
David Hunt.
Yes.
Jim Lamb.
Yes.
Ken Demetrio.
Yes.
Jack Young.
Yes.
Josh McNeil.
Yes.
Curtis Sigler.
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes. Item carries. And number 4 is a construction plan application for the Bar Legacy Square subdivision at 5905 Stage Road.
Dave Watkins with the Reeves firm is requesting Planning Commission approval of a construction plan for the Bar Legacy Square 2-lot commercial subdivision. The subject property is located at 5905 Stage Road, and it is within the CGMS General Business with the Main Street Overlay Zoning District. This commission approved the master plan for this 2-lot subdivision on April 1st, 2024. Lot 1 is proposed to be 0.861 acres and the future location of a coffee shop, and Lot 2 is proposed to be 1.385 acres and the location of an existing medical clinic. The construction plans include a tree survey and protection plan, landscape plan, grading, utility, and traffic control plans. Staff has reviewed this application and recommend approval with the conditions listed in your staff report.
So the Seven Brew is a coffee shop?
Yes, it's also on this application.
Kind of hoping it was a beer place. But.
No, it's not.
Any questions for Director Taylor? All right, thank you. The applicant come forward, please.
My name's Dave Watkins. I live at 443 Old Oak Lane in Collierville.
You in agreement with the comments and conditions of the staff recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Anybody have questions for the applicant?
It's called a coffee shop. What, are they selling anything else besides coffee there, to your knowledge?
I don't know the answer to that. Is there any kind of food you want to come forward? This is Chad Cornwell. He's with Seven Brew.
So the only thing we sell is drinks outside of, we also carry a prepackaged muffin top, but that's it. It's 99% drinks.
Are you going to be open with that product all day long?
Yes.
Okay.
Completely drive-through.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you. Did I get a motion, please?
I move we approve with recommendations from staff.
Second.
Call a roll, please.
Greg Easton.
Yes.
Paul Kaiser.
Yes.
David Hunt.
Yes.
Jim Lamb.
Yes.
Ken Demetrio.
Yes.
Jack Young.
Yes.
Josh McNeil.
Yes.
Curtis Sigler.
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes. Item carries. The next item is a site plan application for Seven Brew at 5905 Stage Road. I'm sorry.
Final plan.
Okay. Final plan for Seven Brew at 5905 Stage.
Again, Mr. Dave Watkins with the Reeves firm is requesting Planning Commission approval of the final plan for the Baugh Legacy Square two-lot commercial subdivision, which is on 2.246 acres of land. The property is located at 5905 Stage Road within the CGMS General Business with the Main Street Overlay Zoning District. This is a conjunctive request with the construction plan request that's on tonight's agenda. This commission approved the master plan for this two-lot subdivision on April 1st, 2024, with Lot 1 being 0.861 acres and the future location of a coffee shop, and Lot 2 being 1.385 acres, the location of an existing medical clinic. Access to this subdivision will be from one existing curb cut and one new curb cut on Stage Road. Staff has reviewed this application and recommend approval with conditions. Thank you.
Questions for Director Taylor?
So at this stage of the process, with the final plan, if this is popular as the location on Kirby Whitten, you're going to be adding quite a bit of traffic. It's more think of a Chick-fil-A or Starbucks type traffic than a low-key coffee shop. So I said this is taken into consideration. I see the traffic control plan where the signs are to be installed. So there's a plan you feel good about for the increase in traffic.
Yes, I'll also direct that to engineering as we have a traffic engineer on staff.
So in this location, Stage is actually at its ultimate width, so we wouldn't request any kind of widening of that road. That traffic control plan is just during construction, where they'll be blocking off to do that work against the right-of-way. But I think we feel comfortable with that amount. We have talked this over with TDOT because that's state right away right there, so everyone seems to be in agreement with that.
If I may interrupt, could you use your microphone?
Can't
It's
hear
not
you.
really being heard up here.
Yeah, it's on.
Just have to talk loud. Okay. So TDOT and the city of Bartlett have discussed it, and we are okay with it as it appears now.
Even with that left-hand turn situation?
Yes, they're entitled to that access point.
Okay.
There is a new inlet going to be installed, is that correct?
Well, this property technically had 3 before, and they're actually closing one off. So there's always been 3 curb cuts in that location, so we're actually taking it down 1. Now, has there been a building there?
Mm-hmm.
No, but people have been able to turn there for
Okay.
a while.
And we have a center lane on that also, a turn lane on that, right? That's a 5-lane intersection or street?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a double left turn.
One positive, I'm sure the schools would love a coffee store next door.
You can kind of see how they would queue up on the site plan, but not necessarily on the final plan, which is next.
Other questions? Thank you. May the applicant come forward, please.
Dave Watkins, 443 Old Oak Lane, Collierville, Tennessee.
You in agreement with the comments and conditions of staff?
Yes.
Questions for the applicant? All right, seeing none. I get a motion?
I make a motion that we approve with the recommendations from staff.
Second it.
Call a roll, please.
Greg Easton,
Yes.
Paul Kaiser,
Yes.
David Hunt,
Yes.
Jim Lamb,
Yes.
Ken Demetrio,
Yes.
Jack Young,
Yes.
Josh McNeil,
Yes.
Curtis Ziegler,
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes. Item carries. Next item is a site plan for 7 Brew, 5905 Stage Road.
Again, Mr. Dave Watkins with the Reeves Firm is requesting Planning Commission approval of a site plan for Lot 1 of the Bob Legacy Square subdivision. The property will be the newly developed lot at 5905 Stage Road, and it is, again, within the CGMS General Business Main Street Overlay District. The applicant is proposing to develop the 0.8-acre lot with a 514 square foot drive-through coffee restaurant. The site will also house a 252 square foot cooler, an 11 space parking lot, and a dumpster enclosure. A streetscape buffer will be installed along Stage Road. Access to the site will be from the new curb cut on Stage Road as well. Staff has reviewed this application and recommend approval with conditions.
Questions for the director?
Yes. Is the cooler under the same roof as the main structure, or is it separate?
It's kind of like next to.
It's right there.
It's right there.
It's right next to the building.
The one right.
It's almost as big as the building.
Yeah, the one right in front of me. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the one on
Is it-
Witten has it as well, if you
Yeah.
drive by that one. Yeah.
Any other questions?
As far as the 2 lots now being separated, I can see the curb that goes around the perimeter of the coffee shop now. What's going to be dealt with as far as the medical business as you come around their drive? Because it really doesn't show here how their property is going to be altered as far as pavement, what's landscaping. Is there going to be a landscape buffer between the 2 properties?
No, that's not required.
Okay, so is that just going to be pavement that's just, let's say I'm the contractor for the coffee shop. I'm going to come in there and saw cut the pavement and put in my curb and gutter for the coffee shop. What happens to the pavement on the medical side? Is it just going to be left saw cut up or at the property line? I mean, it doesn't really show in detail what's happening on that other side. Will the coffee shop or will the medical building still be able to drive around back behind the coffee shop? I mean, it looks like they could get to that property line at the far back.
I'm looking at curbing between the two.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about the driveway. I think it's shown that the coffee shop will be on its own parking lot, on its own property. It will not have any cross access whatsoever.
Correct.
So my question is what's going to happen to the medical side where they abut? Because right now that pavement goes over both lots. There's like a parking lot sitting where the coffee shop's going to be. Maybe if you go to one of the next drawings, it makes...
Yeah, I'm not...
See, when I looked through the drawings, I just could not see how the medical building was going to be its own kind of entity there.
Well, it looked to me like there's no cross access.
Well, there will be when they put a curb in. There won't be, you're right, when they put a curb in.
Right.
But they're just going to have asphalt up to that curb.
Sam?
Because, see, there's a property line. I see the property line, and I don't know what that dimension is, but it looks like it's 10 feet off of that property line. Is the curb to the...
So there's not a curb. So technically, yes, if the medical customers over here, if they wanted to go over onto this side, they could, but they would have to exit this way and out of that driveway there. However, the way that this is really designed with the medical office on this side, they will be using their existing driveway here and predominantly parking over here. Now, they do have a couple of parking spaces over here.
Okay.
That'll probably be just for staff. And so to kind of cut off this cross easement, because the biggest issue we have right now is an existing driveway here, which kind of set up which way you're going to go, this way or that way to serve the two lots. So we're rectifying that by taking it away.
Okay.
And essentially we're curbing this off right here as you're not getting this way. You have to either use the existing driveway here or the modified driveway over here on this side.
So you're saying 10 feet off of that property line, where that dimension is, just right below where your cursor is, if you go down a little bit, there's 10-foot dimension.
Well, there is a curb there.
Right, just stop right there. So 10 feet to the left of that, it appears to be a curb, a 6-inch curb.
Yeah.
Is that not a curb there?
No, that is a curb there.
Okay.
So how this will be aligned here, this will probably be similar to the club car wash. And so if we don't have that as a condition in our staff report, then we'll need to curb that right there along that property line.
So then what is that 10 feet off of that property line?
That's essentially a landscape buffer. So it's just grass.
So there's not a line there? There's nothing to separate landscaping from driving?
According to this plan, there is not, but I think that is an excellent question for the applicant.
Yeah, because you're going to have people driving all up on the grass and hitting trees, and there's got to be a barrier there. That's...
I think we should call the applicant to the mic.
Yep. Dave Watkins, 443 Old Oak Lane, Collierville, Tennessee. There is a curb on the 7 Brew lot, a 10-foot grass area. There's no trees in there, but there is a landscaped area. Out there right now, with the medical building there right now, there's no curb. There's no curb on...
No, that's what I'm saying. You can go into that parking lot.
Well, I mean...
That will go away.
Right now, when you pull into that site, you could drive over on the grass if you wanted to.
You can.
But, I don't see people doing that.
But since this is two pieces of property now, it needs to be separated. That's why I was asking, since that curb is going in, and you're going to have a property line 10 feet away from that, what's going to stop anybody from driving over to that curb onto the coffee shop's property and damaging that grass they're going to have in that 10-foot area from the property line to the back of the curb? And I'm assuming grass is going to go there.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So should there be some type of barrier going down that property line, like another curb, like you would have separating a typical two businesses?
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. There's, like I said, right now, there's no curb on that parking lot on those drives right now. And I don't see any evidence that people are driving on the grass. However, if a condition of approval was to add a curb on that side, I would think the developer would go along with that.
Yeah, see, because there's curbs shown at the back of the medical building, at the rear of the property.
Yes,
it dies at the property line. And same for this parallel parking up near Stage Road. The curb just goes and dies into the property line.
Yes,
or there's really not, the property line kind of goes off at an angle, but it just stops there at a line projected straight up. See, I think there should be a curb that goes along there to protect the coffee shop's landscaping that they're going to spend some good money for, in my opinion.
Well, again, that's not the plan we submitted, but if that is a requirement, I doubt if that would be a deal breaker.
Yeah, because see, on your landscape plan, you're calling outside up to the property line.
Do
you want to make that a condition of approval?
Let me ask, does staff have an issue with that being a stipulation? Do they foresee any reason why that?
No.
Okay.
However, this will go to the Design Review Commission, and additional landscaping could be required at that time. Yeah.
Personally, I think that should be something added to the stipulations of approval.
So that's just a grass barrier between the curb of the new building and nothing on the other side. There's no, like he said, no curb along there or anything. The grass is going to end up onto the parking area or driveway, I believe it is. Yeah.
Now,
and you're also taking one of the inlets out of that, right, and moving it down now? Is that correct?
Driveway.
There's two inlets there now at the building that's already there existing. There's one at the one side and one at the other. You're taking that one out and moving it down to the other side.
Yes, sir.
But there's no pass-through, like he was saying. There's no pass-through between the existing and that one.
There's actually 3 curb cuts out there right now. There's one very, very close to.
Right, yeah. It's a small one, too, yes.
That's
right.
But there is one on the east and west side of the medical office. The one on the west side will be closed.
Okay.
if I could ask engineering the same question I asked Director Taylor, do you see any issues of us adding a curb along that property line that would be a issue for drainage?
No, it all drains to the east. They are going to have to put some kind of detention on the west lot. So we would have to figure out how that is, but that would be towards the back of the building. So
okay, but that...
As long as we're not narrowing the drive, I think we would be fine with it.
No, I think you're just putting a barrier down that property line of the two pieces of property. And mainly, I'm bringing this up to protect the coffee shop because, again, I could see people pulling around and running through their grass and damaging their sod.
As it is right now, that grass area, there is a swale in that area. So the water that's from the medical centers and their parking lot runs to that swale and then flows south.
Between the buildings.
Between the two buildings. Mm-hmm. So a curb there would have to rethink that, but that could be the reason that there's no curb shown there, because we are sheet flowing into a grass swale there.
Sorry, Sam, would you put the one up that shows the drainage on that property, please, on the properties there.
You could
I
always
believe
put
you
a
got
yard.
one in there, don't you, on that? Shows the contour lines and all of that for that.
Yeah, that's sheet C40.
C4, yeah.
And you could always put a yard inlet there at the north end to catch any of that water, or French drain, so it runs and daylights there to the south.
I mean, that's still going to go down. And
The medical center's property is pretty flat, so I don't know that it's really draining a lot in there, even if you look at these contours. But I think something could be worked out.
Even if you had to put just a break, a 12-inch break or something in the curb, kind of like a weir or something, to allow some drainage if need be.
The water out of there.
I just think leaving that whole thing open is leaving your client open to some damaged landscaping. I know I wouldn't want it if I was building a coffee shop, not protected. It's just me.
All right, but let's get back.
Sam, what?
I was just going to say that staff would be open to curb stops in lieu of a curb there as well, with the curb stops being able to allow that water to work its way through on the sides.
Are you talking about like a wheel stop, like a 6-foot long wheel stop?
Yes.
A line of them? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anchored down?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So how does that get worded so it doesn't get forgotten?
Essentially, it would be along the property line. A curb or wheel stop would be required along the property line.
Is there any other discussion?
I have one question.
Okay.
One small question. I want to make sure that the proposed parking met the guidelines. It says we need 13.6, but even including the handicap, we only have 12. So does it meet the proposed parking?
No, it's only 11, so it needs.
Well, I'm saying if you include the van accessible, was that included? I thought that would be separate.
Yeah, you add the 10 and the 1, that's 11 total.
Okay. So we got 11 total, and it requires 13.6.
So you need 3 more.
Yeah, so.
Well, the issue with that is that the maximum shift during peak hours, there are 8 people there, and there's no walk-up service. There's no place to sit down, so the only people parking there are employees. And so at the maximum, if you had 8, if everybody came in their own car, you still got 3 extra spaces.
You know you're less than a mile away from a high school.
I'm not sure
Yes.
what that means.
That means you're going to get a lot of traffic coming in there.
But not,
a lot
but
more
there's no
than
place no place for them to park. I mean, there's no place for them
they're
to get out of there.
driving. They're driving. I mean,
Yeah, but if they can't park there, I mean, it's all drive-through service.
Right.
So if you got enough parking for the employees, then, and it'll be up to the proprietor. If somebody wants to pull in there and park and walk up, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You got to move your car.
Well, there's no, like I said, there's no service window.
I think this gets more to a zoning issue than us assuming this or that. So as far as the ordinance is concerned, are they having to go to BZA to get an appeal for that?
No, I believe some years back, there was a decision amongst the planning commissioners that for minor parking of this nature, and especially within reason, that you guys could decide that. Because from their point of view, this is mainly employee parking, because this is a drive-through service. So we're only eliminating what, 1 or 2 parking spaces?
3.
3, okay, 3. So it's up to you guys. If you don't feel comfortable with approving it that way, then you can recommend that they go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Otherwise, if you think that eliminating the 3 is within reason for the site development itself, then you can make the decision.
Also, the drive-through queues add 17 parking spaces if you want to look at it that way.
Say that again, Sam.
The drive-through queues add 17 parking spaces if you want to look at it that way.
I don't think you had it that way, but.
Okay.
But that's a 22% variance they would be asking for if they had to go to BZA. 22%. That's significant.
Well, the only other issue I would think would be you don't know, if through a growth factor, do you wind up with more employees potentially down the road? You know, who's got a crystal ball for that? Someday the business is so good you got to have more employees, so therefore do we have more cars, I guess?
All building.
Or bicycles, or?
Well,
so you're suggesting that?
I don't know if there's a bike rack on here or not, but if not, we could add one.
But you're saying the size of the building would justify the 8, and that's going to be pretty. That's a standard.
There's no
place to go.
Room for more.
Got it.
Than that.
It's not a 2-story building. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We thank you. I enjoy your coffee.
Thanks. Is that it for me?
All right, we need a motion of some kind here that addresses the curb issue.
All right, I will make a motion for approval with the staff's comments and adding that a 6-foot wheel stop or a curb be added along the demising or adjacent property line that separates the two properties. And that would be from the north to the south to the existing or to the drawn curbs on the plan.
I think we all understand what we're talking about here. All right.
Include the three car situations in spots?
No.
Does that need to be added or just left on?
Well,
I'm not adding it.
According to Kim, we can approve it as is. So I don't know that it needs to be addressed.
Right. That's the way to do it.
All right, so we have a motion with that condition.
I second the motion.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Greg Easton,
Yes.
Paul Kaiser,
Yes.
David Hunt,
Yes.
Jim Lamb,
Yes.
Ken Demetrio,
Yes.
Jack Young,
Yes.
Josh McNeil,
Yes.
Curtis Sigler,
Yes.
John Conroy.
Yes. All right, with any other discussion, we stand adjourned.